Hello and welcome to the Future is 3D video training series. My name is Jeff Christiana and this is video number 4 of the Skeinforge 47 video series on how to use Carve. Carve is a very important setting. What Carve does, and we're going to go through each one of these layers, but it's going to set your layer thickness. Now what we're going to do, and I'm going to be covering in a lot of these modules things that you really need to know and other things that are not really necessary. If you do need to see what these other options are, then click the question mark and that will bring up a help screen to help you through. So in this screen, what you want to do in this tab, the ones that you really care about are layer thickness and perimeter width over thickness ratio. So your layer thickness, so my profiles right here, you'll see 0.15. Well, that's where that comes from. 0.15 is going to make your layer thickness 0.15 millimeters. If you click on 0.25, that's going to be 0.25. And then I can't scroll down, but 0.35, 0.45, 0.55. And this all really depends on your nozzle. Now we're using a 0.35 millimeter nozzle, so the highest I can get out of that is 0.55. As it comes out, head slowed down, I can get a little thicker, a little bit larger. So depending on what nozzle size you have, and we're going to have videos for how to adjust for your different nozzle sizes up to 1 millimeter in size. So for right now, with a 0.35 millimeter tip, I want my Z layer to be 0.15 as it prints. So what this is going to do is it'll calculate and speed up your extrusion. So your tip is going fast enough to lay down a 0.15 layer, even though you've got a 0.35 tip. So it'll go faster and make it smaller. So let's say that's 0.15. You're going along pretty fast. You just want to slow it down. If you slow it down, and this layer height will change your Z height, it's going to extrude more plastic, and it'll go slower. So your Z layer height will increase in size. It's a little extreme there. So for your profile, 0.15, and then your perimeter width over thickness. Now this is your perimeter. This is the outside. So we're going to look top down. So this is the outside of your object. So we're going to come around, and then next layer. So 0.48. Let's do this. Let's go. So let's say you can bring this. I think the default. Let's see how high we can. I think it's 0.8 or something. So 2.20. That means your perimeter will do that. So if you want to get that closer, you want to lower this number. Now we'll go ahead and lower this number to the absolute lowest. And you can type in lower numbers. You can type 1.2, 1.1, but the system stops you here, and we'll just do that. So 0.14 has brought this closer. So now you're riding right along the next object, right on top of it. So now you want to do for this is you want your perimeter to not be smashed. You don't want it to be too close together. You want your lines so they are just touching, melting together. You don't want to see any gaps in your lines. So what we want to do, and what I have found on for this profile, 1.48 is a good setting for that. But your main focus here is your layer thickness, because that's going to set your Z level height for your object. If you want to do 0.1 0.02, which a lot of people are talking about, you would have to go through and set your speed settings, and you set your parameter width, you set your inside. But we're going to go through all that. You go through your fill, your speed, and your carve. Those are the three most important things: is fill, speed, and carve when you're changing your tip and adjusting your layer thickness. So you got to remember also, when you do this, you are creating a lot of G code. Replicator G, it's okay as a program, but you're adding a lot of layers. So let's say 0.55, which is the largest you can go with this tip. Let's say you print an object, you're going to get, your layers are going to be like that, obviously touching, but you're going to be sparse. So if you change this to 0.15, you're going to get more, and you're going to get lots more layers. So there's more. It's going to be a lot more layers. So you're going to get more G code. Let's say this is 25. This will be 200. This will take 2 minutes to print. This will take an hour to print. So when you start getting lower in this layer thickness, you've got to start speeding up the print head. And we've optimized these profiles, and you can experiment. And once our new print head is released, I'm hoping to get a lot faster speed, so you can do this. But Replicator G will choke if the G code file is too big. And I'm hoping that in later releases they will fix that. You can only generate so many lines Replicator G before it just stops. So that is Carve, and we will definitely cover that in greater detail when we talk about how to change out our tool. But for right now, as it's shipped, you should be good to go with the current settings. And the only one in here that you'd ever want to tweak for 0.15 is this setting right here, parameter width over thickness ratio. So we'll see you in the next video.